Hello and welcome back to our Go From Scratch series. Today we're going to be talking about interfaces. So let's create a new file and we'll call this one interfaces.go. We'll start off the regular way, package main. We'll import the format package just so we can print stuff out, and then we'll start with our main function. Okay, so just editing here, I've spelled package wrong in that first line there, so package main. You might notice throughout the video that the LSP isn't working properly with the autocomplete and stuff like that, so that is why. So yeah, just a little typo there. I do fix it by the end, but if you're following along, might as well just fix it up now. Just a spelling mistake. We're actually going to start outside of the main function though, and what we're going to do is we're going to create an interface. So essentially an interface is a contract. It defines what methods should exist within a specific type. So in Go, if a type implements all of the required methods in that interface, then it satisfies the interface. You don't need to explicitly say this struct here, this type implements this interface. In languages like Java, that's something that you have to do. You have to say that this class here implements this interface. In Go, you don't need to do that. As long as it implements all of the required methods, then it satisfies that interface. But let's jump into the code and see it in action. So we make an interface kind of the same way as a lot of different things. So we just say type, we give it the name, and then we say that it's an interface. Now, what's a good example to do this? One of the most common examples is to use a shape. So you say that the interface is a shape, and then you can create all these different types of shapes that will implement that interface. So you can say, okay, this is a shape, but then this is a triangle, this is a square, this is a circle. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to probably use something that's a bit more practical. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a notifier. So we'll call it notifier here, and we'll say that this is an interface. And then we just use the curly braces like normal. And then this is where we say these are the methods that need to be implemented for it to qualify as a notifier. And in this case, we're just going to have one method and we'll call it notify. So notify, and we'll say that this will take a message, which will be a string. Okay, so anything qualifies to be a notifier if it makes use, or if it has a notify function. Sorry, a notify method in this case, just to get the terminology right. So why is this a practical example? Well, what it does is it says that we want to use a notifier to notify users of a certain message, but we're not specifically defining what that method of notification is. So we can create an email notifier, we can create an SMS notifier, we could create a whole bunch of different types of notifiers. And as long as they all use this notify method, as long as they all have this notify method, then we can have the flexibility to say, use a notifier here. This is the message that we want to notify the user of. But any method of notification can be used, as long as that's as long as this qualifies to be a notifier interface. So as long as it has this notify method, let's continue on to see it in action, because that's really going to solidify what I'm actually talking about here. So let's create that email notifier. And here, this is going to be a struct. So we've done structs previously in a previous episode. If you're interested, check it out. I've got an episode on structs. So this is just going to take an email address, and that is going to be type string. Okay, so that's our email notifier. Now we probably should have an SMS notifier as well. So let's just call that SMS notifier. Again, that's a struct. And we will, in this case, take a phone number. Let's just make that a string as well, just to make our lives easier. I just noticed there's a spelling mistake here. Whoops. Okay, so now we've got two different types of notifiers. We've got the email notifier and the SMS notifier. But none of them actually qualify to be a notifier yet because neither of them have the notify method. So let's create that now for each of these. So again, we've done methods in a previous video. So if you want more detail on it, go back and take a look at that. But we can implement this right now. So we create this function here, and then we tell it that this is for the email notifier. And then we give it the name of the method, which is notify. And here we need to pass in message, which is a string. Okay, so here's our notify function for the email notifier. And here let's just print out we'll print out notified via email. And then, yeah, let's pass in the message here. Okay. Actually, we should probably make use of this email address because we are storing that as part of the struct. So let's just add that as part of the message here. We'll use email address. And then the message as well. So this print statement here is just going to say notified via the email address that is part of this struct here, and then message. So whatever's passed in. And let's do the same for the SMS notifier. So again, func, and then we'll pass in or say that it's for the SMS notifier. Again, it's the notify method, and it takes a message, which is a string. And let's just do a similar sort of thing. So we'll give it print line notified via, and then let's just give it phone number and the message. All right, so now that we have that, we've got our notifier, we've got our email notifier, we've got our notify function for that email notifier. So this now qualifies as being a notifier. Then we've got our SMS notifier, and again, the notify method, which allows this to qualify as a notifier. Okay, so let's define the function that will make use of this notifier. And here's where we'll really see the flexibility of it. So we'll create this new function. So let's just call it send notification. And in this case, we're going to take in notifier. Notifier, just make sure I spell it properly. So here we're saying that this takes the interface. So we pass that in when we use the send notification function. And then we'll just take the message here, which obviously has to be a string. Okay, and then we can just make use of this notifier that gets passed in. And on the notifier, we know that it has the notify function, and that's where we can pass in our message. All right, so we're kind of set up now. We've got all the functions that we need. We've got this function here, send notification, where we can pass in any type of notifier we want. This could be the email notifier, it could be the SMS notifier. It really doesn't matter. And then because both of them use the notify function or notify method, we can just make sure that either of them use that. So let's make sure we have an example in our main function here. So let's create an email notifier. So this will be email notifier, and we need to give it the email address, and let's just say, I don't know, hello@email.com. Cool. And then let's also create an SMS one as well. So this is our SMS notifier. We'll give it a phone number, and the phone number will just be 0987. Okay, good. All right, so we've got our two notifiers. And then let's see them in action. Let's make use of this function here. So send notification. Whoops, notification. So pass in the notifier. Let's do email first. And then let's give it the same message for both. So message, what should our message say? Just, I don't know, hello via notifier. Okay, so we'll send the notification via the email notifier, and then we'll pass in the message, and we'll do the same, send notification, this time using the SMS notifier, again, pass in that message. Okay, so looks like we have everything there. I've spelt package wrong, so that should fix that up. Okay, what do we have? What's wrong here? Okay, so yeah, I do have another file with these names, so this is gonna confuse the it's going to confuse the errors here. They should be fine. Let's run it. So go run, and then what did we call this? Interfaces. Cool. Okay, so now we see it in action. We've got the first one here, notified via hello@email.com, hello via notifier, notified via the phone number that we passed in, hello via notifier. So I think, yeah, that's kind of it for interfaces. They're quite simple, to implement. But then they are quite powerful as well. So you can kind of see how it gives you a little bit of that object-oriented functionality, even though Go isn't really an object-oriented language. So instead of doing a kind of polymorphism kind of thing, or inheritance or anything like that, this is sort of how we do it in Go. So yep, things like a notifier, a good use case for this. Yeah, play around with it, see how you go. If you're interested in learning more Go, please follow along with the series, subscribe, like, leave a comment. If there are things you're interested in learning, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.